Years ago, I was talking with somebody, and I meant to say, if it ain't broke, don't break it. No, excuse me. I meant to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I said instead, if it ain't broke, don't break it. And I realized that one makes more sense. In fact, I've been saying it for so long, I don't even know what the original version was. And that's what Trump has to understand, especially with his lawyers. Keep in mind a couple of things here. Nobody wants to represent Trump. Nobody. I mean, it is absolutely crystal clear. It is the kiss of death to anybody who represents Trump. It's terrible. Shouldn't be like that, but it's true. Anybody from any firm of any note, anybody who does any government business, anybody who doesn't want to get blacklisted, you represent Trump and you're through. You're finished. So consequently, anybody who does represent Trump, I'm not passing any judgment or any kind of capabilities. It's a different tiered form of representation. That's something people have to understand. I was watching one of my favorites is Brendan Sullivan. He represented, I think, Ted Stevens and perhaps Oliver North, and he has a real kind of a professorial look at it. That was a different time. You represent Trump now, you're through, you're finished. Done. Okay. The thing you have to ask is, remember, your lawyer, Trump's lawyer, has to not worry at all about what TV shows can I go on? Who wants me now? Well, so-and-so wants you because everybody wants to have you. And it may feel real heady. Like, this is great. Hey, the Today Show wants me, or this one wants me. I'm going to go on TV. No. Why? Why are you doing that? Well, what do you mean? Publicity. You don't need publicity. It's the last thing you need. What you need to do is to shape the image and the view and the idea. In fact, don't go on The View, whatever you do. But you have to do some things which a lot of people, it's not in their nature to do. For example, don't goad, don't chide, don't embarrass, don't humiliate, don't insult Alvin Bragg. Do it the other way. Start off by saying, almost like you're doing when you're a hostage negotiator, the way they interrogated Saddam Hussein. Understand, feel for him. You've got nothing but respect for him. He still is the district attorney for the largest city in the nation. For Manhattan, whatever, the borough, but still. And he's a man who knows what he's doing. And what his difficulty is to position this case within the framework of the law. And we know that Mr. Bragg is going to do everything in his power to ensure that the case, the charges, whatever brought, because there's even now suggestion, I don't know if you've read this, but others are opining, who said anything about the case being filed by Tuesday? We never said that. We only said that there was discussions between the police and the Secret Service in the event, but we didn't guarantee it. We didn't announce it, okay? You understand that? So that's an interesting twist. Okay. Because remember, there may be a way out, though I wouldn't count on it. I have to ask the question, what's the best way to handle this? And what you and I know is that of the cases available, the Mar-a-Lago classified document hoarding, ooh, that's a good one. I like that as a prosecutor because that's kind of like per se violative. You don't have to show a lot of intent. Did you or did you not have this? Were they not authorized? Quick, administrative, done. That's a good one. The Stop the Steal in Georgia, that's going on. You have Jack Smith in that January 6th. That's a real tough one. And I mean tough. It's tough for Trump because that has to do with seditious conspiracy and others as well, which I'm telling you is far easier to prove than you would ever imagine. So what are they doing? They're starting off with this. So this can work in Trump's benefit. How's that? First, It's almost like the theory behind a limited hangout. You're starting off with this kind of like, I don't want to say, it's not second rate, but it's at best maybe a misdemeanor. And what's happening is it's kind of like falsified documents. And what you're trying to show is that if it's a misdemeanor, the statute of limitations may have already lapsed. We haven't even addressed that yet through motion practice. If you want to make it a felony to give yourself more time to bring it, you then have to show, that, need my coffee. You then have to show that he falsified these documents to hide, to conceal another crime. And he was doing it to conceal a federal crime, a federal statute, another crime. Wait a minute. You're charging somebody with violating a New York law because he was entangled in concealing a federal statute? That's like saying, I think somebody suggested it would be like saying he concealed a French law or an Indiana law. I say, what? What did he do in New York? Well, he falsified business. As a misdemeanor, business records. But as a felony, he falsified to cover up the violation of a federal law. So you're going to have to prove the federal law? Do you take judicial notice of that? Do you have like a derivative prosecution? It doesn't, as some legal commentators have said, it makes no sense. So you've got to give Bragg the chance. You got to give him a way out of here. You want to tell him, listen, Mr. Bragg, if you get this thing right, you can write your ticket. AG, we're talking federal AG, not Tish James, New York, but Merrick Garland, a federal judiciary, lifetime tenure, maybe SCOTUS, maybe governor, who knows? You play this right. You're teeing this off with the worst possible case ever. Business, it's the worst. How did you go along with this? Because remember, Alvin Bragg, can't say it enough, Alvin Bragg kind of pumped the brakes a while back. He put this on pause, causing some of his staff to bolt because they thought this is wrong and this is a crime. And even Cy Vance, his predecessor, says, I don't want anything to do with it. And the feds even said, I don't want anything to do with this. So you're starting off with this? So if I'm Trump's lawyer, and I couldn't meet, I don't know if I could, I would sit there and say, look, off the record, Mr. Bragg, all right, we got to get you out of this. I'm going to help you dump this case. I'm going to help you get rid of it. Because what's going to happen is, if he's acquitted, or if it's reversed on appeal or whatever it is, they're going to be able to use this introductory prosecution, almost like a limited hangout, by telling everybody, see what happens? See what they have in mind? You see? This is all they have. And then if there's a second prosecution, which the public's not going to know the difference between state and federal, and whether it's a Jack Smith J6 move, or whether it's a Stop the Steal in Georgia, or whether it's, the Mar-a-Lago documents, Trump's crowd is going to say, oh, God, here we go again. Here we go again. You already prosecuted him. They're not going to know the difference between successive cases and different cases. They're not going to understand that. So it's almost like a limited hangout in reverse. They're going to be able to use this. So, Mr. Bragg, I'm going to help you. We got to dump this case. We got to give you a reason not to do it. If, in fact, they issue an indictment, because prosecutors can always say, "Oh, don't look at me. It's the grand jury did it. I didn't file the charges. They did." No, they found probable cause in a case you delivered to them. You know the expression, the great Saul Walker case, expression that says a good prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. Well, a good prosecutor can also stop an indictment. That's why they always suggested that sometimes if there's a bad, let's say a cop shooting or a citizen is shot, kind of like a George Floyd, you don't want necessarily the prosecutor of that division, of that area, bringing a case in front of a grand jury because he can lure it, veer it. He can direct it away from prosecuting somebody he's got to deal with. That's why special prosecutors are preferred. So a prosecutor say, Mr. Bragg, that's not going to work. That dog don't hunt, as we say in the South. You're not going to be able to say, hey, don't look at me. I didn't bring this. The grand jury did. No, the grand jury brought a case that you presented to them, alleging probable cause. They didn't do this. You did this. So all of this is going on right now. But none of this is going to happen if the defense team for Trump is on TV attacking him as a Soros shill and that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is the amount of chess that is going on, it's not just chess. It's 3, 4, 5D chess, but multiple boards, multiple games, multiple partners, multiple jurisdictions, and in some cases, you've got a chessboard with some of the pieces missing, and they keep switching the people, and there may be a game of checkers thrown in just for good luck, and it's multiple. The Trump team is not going to win its case on TV. Let me say this again. You're not going to win your case on TV. You're going to make him a bigger target. Because invariably, depending on what the personalities involved, your braggadocious brio, your bravado, is going to draw them in more, and they take it out on your client. I've got more to say on this. Please follow this channel. Make sure you let other people know. I'm going to give you the straight poop, and I'm going to take all the time in the world that I need to make sure you understand this. Unlike these other clowns who just want to basically pad their reel to get a full-time gig. But that's another story. Okay, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified of new videos and new samplings, and comment as you see fit.